Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today is September 5th, 2023, and we'll call this meeting order at 7:30 p.m. Can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dalzell.
Here.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin. Here. Trustee Murphy.
Here.
Trustee Navas-Barza. Here. Trustee Peretta.
Here.
Mayor Ryan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So as we get started here, I've got a Zoom set up, and hopefully this works correctly. Sometimes we've had trouble in the past, but we're going to hear from Kroger Corporation for a short presentation. Let me see if they're on here.
Okay. Yeah. Places are getting rid of their old trailers now.
You know, we'll start with our reports and watch the our Zoom monitor and see if they obviously if they click in. First, before we give our starting with officer reports, starting with mine, a couple of updates. Actually, went around, looked at some job sites today, going up in town. I want to let everybody know that the Firewater Barbecue and Brew at 116th and Pulaski looks great, and they're doing the interior work on that right now. He thinks 2 weeks, possibly 3, he's going to be ready for opening, and I think he's close to doing that. Taco Burrito King next door, construction's going very well, and looking forward to seeing that getting done soon. He's got quite a bit of work ahead of him. Also, Bell Tire at 111th, just west of Cicero, it used to be Baker Square, coming along very well. They got the walls up right now and so forth, and they're putting on the roof. Quick Run at 115th and Cicero started construction today with the remediation of the ground. And then last week, my office participated in a ribbon cutting ceremony at the Beau Chateau, formerly known as the Chateau Boucher, sorry, at 115th and Cicero. So we wish all of them luck with what they're doing. As I said, number one, I'll come back to this once. Oh, here it is. Dave, can you click them in, please, where it says admit at the top? Thank you. There you go. Marty, I see your name on the screen. Can you hear us? Marty, can you hear us?
Might have to dial in.
All right, we'll wait and see if some more folks chirp in with that. First on your agendas this evening, there's a presentation by Kroger Food Stores requesting the Village of create a new classification of liquor license. Second on the agenda was the approval to create a new classification of liquor license known as a Class S license, which is a supermarket grocery store license. Third on your agenda was discussion and request to amend ordinance number 94-11-3, section 4-5, consumption, possession, false identification, employment of underage persons. Paragraph E, right now, as it reads, it shall be unlawful for any, it shall be unlawful for any reason to employ or permit the employment of any person under the age of 21 years in any licensed premises where alcohol liquor is consumed if their employment involves the sale, acceptance of money, checking identification, or serving alcohol. As many, and my point to this being, as many restaurants are struggling to staff their establishments, we have been asked, the village has been asked to amend this ordinance and offer more employment opportunities. So what we're trying to do is ask the board if they would consider having the village attorney amend, draft a new ordinance that would amend this to allow folks 18 years and older just to serve those liquors within a restaurant, not a bar, anything like that. This is where you're serving food and so forth, not a late-night establishment. And it's been done in other places. I gave examples in the packet, like the city of Chicago and so forth do that too. But they can't pour the alcohol. All they're doing is delivering it. And then last on your agenda was the approval to have the attorney, as I said, amend that same ordinance, allowing for 18 years and so forth then too.
Excuse me, Mayor. It appears that Marty tried to communicate. He did send a text saying if we can hear him.
Oh, no, we cannot.
The
And
text,
Dave, could you let in the next person, please? And click on admit. That's the person from Kroger. At the top, where it says admit. Thank you. There you go. Can you hear us? There you go. Marty, we can see you now. I'm sorry. This is, give me one
Is the
second.
volume up on that?
Our speakers on, no, we can,
Not
are we
talking,
controlling their speaker or their microphones?
Can you hear us, folks? We're not hearing you. Sorry. How about now? How about now? Can you guys talk? No, not nothing yet. I'm trying different speakers here. How about this? There you go. Now I got you. Okay. Yes, now I can hear you.
You gotta admit somebody else. Mary, you have somebody else getting in the waiting room.
If it means anything, we go from one Zoom meeting to one Teams meeting all day from start to finish. It goes down to start the same place. You've been running all this time.
Is there a way to make it louder, Mayor?
Yeah. So, Brooke, you're in now too, okay?
I can't think still.
Okay. So, go ahead, if you would please. We just started our meeting. I just introduced you. If you would please introduce yourself, and if you want to tell us about the concept or the vision Kroger has for the Alsip food store.
That's not loud enough for those guys.
Again, thanks for slight pickup and all that time to get connected here. We have on the line here coming from Kroger as well as Brooke Murphy. We're going to speak more to trust.
microphone over there. Maybe they don't.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Hey, everybody, hear us okay now?
Yes.
Do I am? Perfect. Good. So just a quick introduction. Jared Cummins. My title, Director of Financial Products within the organization. I'll let that come first. Let's introduce yourself, take opportunities on, and kind of walk through, as you said.
I got to turn it all up. I don't know what else I can do.
Working?
Yeah, no, we can hear you. Just we were trying to get a little bit louder on our side. That's all.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, and I'm sorry I'm struggling with my camera here, but I didn't get it on. My name is Liz Murphy. I'm the Chief Compliance Officer at Federal Personal Finance within the Federal Roberto, and responsible for our compliance and risk management program.
Okay, so I think I'll kick it off with Mark and council committee. Again, please feel free to stop me and ask any questions. I have just kind of a few pieces laid out. What I thought I would do is just take a couple minutes and talk about why we're here today, why we're asking, why we have the ask that we do, and a little bit of what the program is. So please feel free to interrupt me at any point in time. I thought we'd just go through a couple bullet points in a couple minutes here. I want to give you a little bit of background on what KPF is. Brooke just mentioned KPF. KPF, if you're familiar, Kroger, obviously in Illinois, Food for Less, Mariano's, and I think we have some Kroger divisions. They're actually our global division with some stores that are in the state of Illinois. And KPF is an entity of Kroger. It's really no different than a grocery store, whether it be meat or whether it be produce or grocery. KPF really just stands for Kroger Personal Financial Products. And what's different about that is the side of the business of Kroger is not the Kroger meat, right? So that's the side of the business that we have products such as gift card products, money services products, so bill pay, Western Union, checks and cashing. We have a telecom business, we govern lottery, all the way to other products such as media, travel, other pieces. And when you think about Kroger as a core grocer, the alternative revenue side, the alternative side of the business, which enables our grocery strategy, is the side of the house that Brooke and myself sit on. So underneath those products, I have several of those products that I have in my group is responsible for the business strategy, merchandising, and results.
Hey, excuse me. Jared, I apologize. Can you speak up? Can you really crawl into your mic, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Closer here.
No, the microphone, yeah.
So just let me know if this doesn't work. If not, I'll try to help.
All right.
But just to give it a brief description is the product lines that I govern sit outside our traditional core business. And hopefully you heard the grouping of products that we have, but in each of those products we have teams that are responsible for the merchandising strategy and the business strategy. And then I work with our division leadership teams, our presidents, and our community affairs organizations on those business strategies, both
Very good. And I apologize, I wanted to introduce both of you, too. We couldn't, our audio, the audio is fine, I'm sorry, the video is fine, the audio is a little bit soft, but we have Jared Cummins. Jared, what's your title with Kroger again, please? Director of Financial Products. And Brooke, what's your title? Brooke Murphy. Brooke, what's your title with the company?
Director of Chief AML Compliance Officer.
Okay. No, certainly, I had met with Kroger, and Marty McAlpin has met with the board in past meetings regarding this concept of changing the business model of the Alsip store. And while we understand you wanted to introduce taste testings for beer and wine, you also wanted to have the ability to have a segregated area for the video gaming aspect of this yet then, too. And certainly, you're being issued one license for this, which is why Kroger is certainly taking responsibility as well. This isn't just for a gaming organization. This is a change in your business model for this particular location. Correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. And we covered most of this already. Board, I didn't want to do all the talking. Trustees, did you have any questions for them?
Well, the one question I have is, why doesn't Mariano's have video gaming?
Great question. So I've worked at division president. It's just a matter of Mariano is a little more difficult. There's two components to Mariano's. One I'll tiptoe around, one I won't tiptoe around. The one I won't tiptoe around is Mariano's is what I would phrase as dense. So when you walk up the store in Mariano's, there is something virtually everywhere. We looked at walk the perimeter to find suitable locations, and most of the locations that we've identified require construction to really do this right. So, Mariano's retailer typically 55, let's say maybe 75,000 square feet, and they have virtually something everywhere. And we walked that store several times. I'll tell you, I'm the one that actually got lottery put in Mariano's, because at the time the Mariano's ownership was not a fan of lottery. And that wound up being a terrific success for Mariano's. And there's another piece that's a little bit more sensitive with the pending merger with Albertsons in some locations. So there's a couple of components. I'll tell you, Mariano's is right up. I think we have a list of particular number of stores. Mark, you might have to keep me to be honest here. There's multiple stores within the Illinois state of Illinois, that we identify as good fits for the problem.
So there aren't any existing Mariano's that have video gaming at this time?
There is not.
And the reason why I ask is Mr. McAlpin, I don't want to mispronounce her name, I can't see the small print, provided me with data regarding different municipalities and also the number of gaming facilities in those municipalities. And I shared it last time that I went a step further and looked at population and also median income of those municipalities. And the one that was closest in population size to us was Evergreen Park at 19,943 residents. Alsip were at 19,063. And Evergreen Park only has 8 video gaming facilities based on the data that was provided, and Alsip has 26. And the median income of Evergreen Park is 85,328, and Alsip is 59,123. So, I mean, one variable that wasn't mentioned, I think that I was able to hear was, socioeconomic factors that contribute to why video gaming facilities are also in certain communities and not others. And I can go on in Oak Lawn, for example, their median income is $70,787, where Mariano's is currently at. And they have 45 video gaming facilities, but a population almost 3 times the size of Alsip. So if you were to divide 45 divided by 3, I think it's 15, if I'm not mistaken. So in essence, my concern is that how much is too much? And, I love my community and I see the potential for economic development. And there's been, times where the board majority voted a different way, but I still see that Alsip is strategically located and deserves more. And it's nothing against your business and so forth, but I hope that the board can take a different step and approach, and maybe yourself as well, like why not explore what Jewel does and has a coffee shop there. I've seen a coffee shop in Walmart as well, so perhaps consider a different type of business to be located within a grocery store. And those are my comments.
You know, currently, the Food for Less stores in this south suburban area, obviously, all I'm reading is what I see online, and you're not too long ago, just recently, maybe in June, they closed the store in Oak Forest, and it seemed like it was really a great store, and certainly that's a popular area over there yet, too. But, again, even with mergers and all of the acquisitions that you're looking at right now of taking on Albertson stores, that's a lot to undertake, and you're not going to necessarily, you don't want to directly compete against yourself, but part of this merger would be owning not only a Food for Less, but a Jewel right across the street, correct? And in my eyes, this obviously offers a differential or an opportunity for a different business model as you move down the street, whether it's a Mariano's that has a lounge inside the store or a Food for Less that's got beer and wine tastings and video gaming in it. Everything's going to offer a little something different, but that's just my take on it and so forth. I'm not in the grocery industry, and I'm not, I guess I'm just going to say I'm not versed enough to know your profession. You folks certainly, and especially in your positions, have done enough homework on this to know if this is right for the Kroger family.
Yeah, let me try to, I want to make sure I understand your question. Whether or not, are you asking whether or not the product suite is right for the Kroger family or the store locations?
No, I'm just saying you want to, the competitive edge you want to give to the Food for Less is offering something different than the other stores. In other words, you wouldn't all just offer the same type of business model. No, a Mariano's has almost like a lounge inside of it and stuff, or with, you know, with a bar and music, live music and all that kind of thing. A Jewel might have, like, as the trustee said, maybe a bakery scenario, something like that. Everything's going to have a different kind of a business model to it. That's the way I'm viewing this. I don't know if you're looking at it the same way.
I want to be careful about not getting out of, you know, I'm a big fan of swim lanes. I don't make how our grocery strategy
Okay.
is not in my piece. What I will tell you is, you know, across the country, there's been a bit, we have banners, our banners typically, I would say 5 years ago, were relatively different. You know, Harris Teeter is a great example, look relatively quite different from our Kroger stores versus the same state. And really what's happened in the grocery industry, you see a much more standardization. There's some divisions
Understood, that's fine. And again, the question to the board this evening is the ability, does the board agree to have our village attorney draft a formal, I gave kind of an overview of what, and actually I used some of the language from our current ordinance and from, let's say I borrowed some from Oak Lawns where the Mariano store is located, and I want to see if the board is willing to adopt a new create a new business license for this type of activity in a grocery store scenario. Not a convenience store, it's a grocery store. So that's the question for this evening. Trustees, did you have any other questions for the Kroger folks? Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight then, folks. We'll put this to a vote later this evening. We're getting through our meeting right now then, too, okay? Jared, thank you. Certainly Brooke and Marty, thank you very much for joining us tonight yet, too. Okay. Trustees, did anyone have any questions on the second half of my report about allowing, changing the age of delivering liquor within a restaurant scenario to 18 years or better?
Mayor, I just had one. The person who's serving it doesn't card. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay, that's
This
all.
would only be a delivery person, and it was requested by, I don't want to use their name here, but it was requested by some formidable business owners here that have restaurants.
Are we going to amend anything else? I mean, what is the present requirement age for a cashier at a Jewel Food to ring up?
That would still have to be 21. This is only going to be the delivery aspect.
So what's the difference? I mean, if we're going to allow an 18-year-old to deliver, why wouldn't we allow an 18-year-old cashier to press the button?
Joe, can I ask you about that?
Well, the cashier cards. The idea of this would be that your server, let's say the waiter, waitress takes your order, you're going to order a beer, vodka tonic, whatever. If they card you, they don't card you, then somebody else would bring out the tray of food or the beer to the table. That is my understanding of it.
Okay.
Whereas at the grocery store, the cashier is actually carding you.
I think it's service versus selling, where the server would serve it to you, the cashier is selling it to you. That's the way I look at it.
Well, exactly. And what the problem that I was told was some of the restaurants have a hard time hiring staff, and this offers more opportunities for folks 18 and older to work in these establishments, and really all you're doing is delivering the product. You're not taking more responsibility.
So if they're having a hard time hiring the staff and they've got an 18-year-old, who's doing the carding?
Obviously, the bartender would come out and card them.
Well, it's at most restaurants, though, the bartender is not going to come to a table.
Right, yeah, no.
I mean, we can certainly allow the same person, the server, to do that, but I think we would have more trust in a 21-year-old taking responsibility for that.
Well,
And the 18-year-old still has to identify Bassett certification, too, to
They
understand.
have to take the Bassett.
Right.
Right, but that's, I mean, there isn't an age requirement of 21 for the Bassett. An 18-year-old can do that.
Right.
But it doesn't, I mean, I guess I don't understand what their difference is. If they can't staff a 21-year-old or greater, now we're going to rely upon the 18-year-old to sit there and to deliver, recognize, and I appreciate their Bassett trained, but there's age of responsibility. They're an adult. They're going to be responsible, as is the liquor licensee ultimately being responsible.
Right, and just for a quick review here, too, and just make sure I'm not going past this, what I put in everybody's packet was, well, I read off what the other was, and then, this is back in March of 2017, the city of Chicago does allow employees 18 and older working in grocery stores and restaurants in Chicago to be able to serve and sell alcohol, actually, too. Their ordinance actually reads, if the licensed premises is a restaurant, an employee of the licensee who is, 1, at least 18 years of age, 2, obtained and completed training in basic responsible alcohol services outlined in rules promulgated by the Illinois Liquor Commission, may serve alcoholic liquor that has been prepared, mixed, or in the case of wine and beer, opened by the manager or employee of the licensee who is at least 21 years of age or older. This exception in subparagraph, what they have, shall not be available to the holders of late-night hour license like taverns and so forth as defined. So I was kind of identifying with the same thing. A person 21 years of age may be employed or permitted to work as a host or hostess or a receptionist in a restaurant, but again, it's only the person 21 years of age that's taking the actual responsibility for carding or identifying anybody that might be underage from receiving the product. In Joliet, the Liquor Commissioner may, by issuance of the special permit, authorize any person under the age of 21 and above the age of 18 to be employed as a waiter or waitress, primarily for the service of food in any licensed premises, which is a restaurant. The Liquor Commissioner may promulgate rules and regulations relating to the administration of the subsection, and the term rules and regulations included but not limited to what I just said. And Niles, Illinois, servers aged 19 and 20 of age may not pour or obtain liquor to serve, but can only carry the liquor from the pickup location to the table. Again, any licensee employing 2 or more 19 or 20-year-olds, servers, must have a manager who is at least 21 years of age on the premises while they're working. That's kind of where I'm going for here, is anybody 18 and over. And there's a handful of other recommendations I put in everybody's packet. But the question this evening was to ask if the approval to have the village attorney amend that ordinance to allow anyone 18 and older, again, to just basically deliver that product in the interest of staffing the restaurant. Any other questions, trustees, on that?
But again, I'll go back to logistics.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a 20-year-old who is sitting there and preparing the drinks or pouring whatever. That person's going to come out from behind the bar to go over and card the individual who's now placing an order with the 18, 19, or 20-year-old person.
Mm-hmm. I understand, and I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not challenging that aspect of it, to make that manager or that 21-year-old to take that responsibility of at least identifying if this person is underage. But after that, we're letting the server do the rest. So would it be your position then that everybody should be 21 and older? That would be my question.
No, I mean, when I go to the grocery store and I buy a bottle of wine, and then the cashier turns to somebody who's 21 plus,
Sure.
to have them press the button.
Right.
And, you know, unfortunately, I look old, so there isn't an issue. But if we're going to sit there and do this for one, it seems like we should do it for all. So does this encompass that person who's 18, 19, 20, working the cash register at Jewel Foods?
No. No, I agree that they
But
should.
how do we trust the 18, 19, 20-year-old in a restaurant setting, but we don't trust a cashier at the Jewel to do the very same thing?
Because the person in the restaurant is still deferring to the responsible adult, like, let's just say the 21-year-older person, to take that responsibility.
Okay.
In other words, there's only so much I'm willing to compromise by, too. I want to make sure we have a good, safe atmosphere. But again, I was asked by these restaurants if we would allow that, just in the interest of helping staff better, that's all. I know these jobs don't pay a lot of money, and a couple of places I talked to are reputable establishments that we all use here and stuff yet, too, but it was just in the interest of supporting those businesses why I'm asking the board this tonight.
I understand the rationale, and you know, to me, they're 18 years old, they can fight for this country, but they can't push a button to authorize a sale.
I agree.
Makes no sense.
And we hear that all the time with the men and women that represent our armed forces yet,
Right,
too, that,
right.
you know, you can be 18 and go off and fight a great battle with a big gun under your arm, but you can't get a beer, or in that case, even have a cigarette legitimately anymore, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But I think we lost that, which was the governor who would pass the age 19 for drinking, and we ended up losing a lot of children in those years, too, so.
right, no, I get you. So, anyway, that's what I'm proposing to the board this evening, too, so, thank you very much. We'll move on to the clerk's report. Clerk Harding?
Thank you, Mayor. I have the presentation and approval of the August 21st, 2023 board meeting minutes, and that is all I had, Mayor.
Thank you. To go to the attorney's report, we have Joe Kankar with us. Joe?
I have no report, Your Honor.
All right. Engineers report, Jeff Agan. Jeff?
Thank you, Mayor. Recommendation to award a 2023 MFT crack sealing program to Denler, Inc. for the bid amount of $81,740.38.
All right.
Also, to just provide a quick update here on the 2023 roadway resurfacing project. They're starting saw cutting this week, and we're going to start working on concrete. Most of that is going to be in the Lombard area.
Okay. And I've talked to Mike about this a handful of times. Jeff, at this time, you don't think we need to upsize the drains or sewers or anything like that? You think?
Well, we're looking at the condition of them.
Okay.
Public Works has done some investigation, and
Oh, that's right, Mike. We talked about a possible compromise in one of those drains yet, too. Are we going to get a contractor to go down and try and get a better look at that?
That's what we're looking to do, yes.
Okay, because we've got a drain over in the Lombard-Kedville area that might be plugged, and we're looking at that. And Public Works kind of cleared a lot of the debris and mess that's up. It's like in that elbow, if everybody's familiar with over near Castellan Company and Quincy Recycle, that goes right up to the railroad tracks. And it's tough getting back there. I went back there last Wednesday, and it's not the easiest place to access and stuff yet, too. But that's right where that line is laying yet, too, huh? Okay. Let's talk about that, about getting a contractor in there and see what we can do to free that up. So I hate to just put down a new street and think that, like, I was always told that maybe the engineering back when was under-engineered, that we're just adding something great to something that needs to be addressed. So let's make sure we're doing the right thing then, too. I know you guys know what you're doing. I just want to make sure, again, I'm just being a devil's advocate here. Let's make sure we're not getting past something that we should address, okay? And I don't know, like you said, Mike, you sent a camera down there and you could only get so far with it, right? All right, so let me know if we want to bring in a contractor to look at that. All right. Jeff, go ahead. Anything else?
the water main project on 115th and 118th place. Each of those are placed 115th place and 118th place. Services are starting to be installed on 118th, so they'll be switching over from the old main to the new main for each resident. And then on 115th place, they're pressure testing that main today and this week. And once that passes all the testing and it's chlorinated, then we'll switch those residents over as well on an individual basis from the old main to the new main.
Okay. Jeff, would it be your anticipation then, too, that next year we would resurface those same streets to fix all the cuts that we're making now? I mean, we're going to put some blacktop over some of that stone where we had to cut up the street and everything this year, right?
Correct. It'll be patched anywhere
Okay.
where there's open cuts. Yep.
Sounds good.
So we could look at adding those areas to next year's program as well.
That'd be great. You know how it goes. You tear the place up and you want to remediate it properly and everything yet, too. So, okay. Anything else, Jeff?
That's it.
All right. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. We have the public forum. Does anyone in the audience wish to address the board tonight? Serge, you want to talk to us? Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. It was on that last subject about 18-year-olds.
Mhm.
When you reach 18, that's not a magic thing saying that you're mature.
Mhm.
You have a lot of kids out here, 18 and 19, that are very immature. So dealing with that subject, that's a slippery slope, Your Honor.
Oh, sure.
Very slippery. You have to really be careful with that. And as for Kroger, you need a gimmick to get people to go in there. I want to go in there and get the necessities. If I want to go for video gaming, I'm going to go somewhere where they have nothing but video gaming. When I go to Kroger's, I'm going there for the basics, for myself, my family, and whatever.
Right.
So,
I know, that's what, and like, again, we look at, I appreciate how you're saying that, Ed, too, because, our job is to view things not from basically a personal agenda. We got to see is it bad for the community, is how I kind of look at something like that, Ed, too. Is it bad for us? You're seeing right now when you walk into, initially back in 2012, when video gaming was allowed in the state of Illinois, it was to benefit fraternal organizations, restaurants, bars, and before you know it, other organizations felt they could use that same help. Is it the answer to their business problems? I don't know. It's not. If I don't own a gas station, we just gave one recently to a hotel, and we even allowed one at a hand car wash that's very popular and stuff yet too, because of its frequency and because of it's got a safe. It's got a safe atmosphere to it where, you're not really, like in a place like you've been at the Kroger, that's going to be in a room that you won't even see. That's off to one side. That used to be like a mini bank, that kind of thing, too. But, because I agree with you. If I walk in the store, I don't need all that, and it's like, even some folks might even say as you're walking through like I'll never compare the two stores, but you might walk into a Mariano's and there's a whole lounge thing going on there and stuff then, too. It looks great. And I'm happy for the villages that have those stores and stuff yet then, too. But everybody, like I said, my vision of it is everybody's got different business models, and if that's what they think they want to do to make their product more attractive, we should be here to support them and stuff yet, too.
And then again, it could be a generation gap, because I'm early baby boomer.
I tell you what, sir, I get intimidated, again, from where I sit, I see the property taxes that come out of major buildings like that support your schools, your parks, your library systems, and especially the village. And I just kind of get really intimidated sometimes, and, that's my thing is always using the word, is it bad for us to say, I want to give them all the help they ask for so that I don't get stuck with an empty box, because, filling those big boxes are really a tough thing these days. You go through Oak Lawn, they've had that Sports Authority store sitting empty forever,
Are they threatening to
Sears
leave?
over at, I'm sorry, what's that?
Are they threatening to leave us if we don't give them the?
Oh, no, but I'm just saying, I don't like taking those kind of risks. Like when you look at Sears over at Ridge Mall, that's been empty for a couple of years. And then over here, right in Crestwood, they still got an empty Burlington Coat and a Best Buy too. So my thing is, I like supporting folks like that if that's what you think you need to make your business run better. But I know what you're saying too, because there's always, I was actually in a gas station just recently at the BP over here getting gas, and the gentleman in front of me, he's like, man, I disagree with that. There was some video gaming going on. I'm like, all right, want me to tell you I was the tie-breaking vote on that? That kind of thing. But, again, it's what they feel they need to sustain their business and stuff yet then, too, so. But thanks for offering an opinion, too. I appreciate you. Anybody else? No? Okay. We'll go to standing committee reports now. Let's go to Finance and IT. Trustee McGlowhorn.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have a request for approval of a list of payroll dated August 25th, 2023, totaling $491,557.16. Next, I have a request for approval of a list of accounts payable dated September 5th, 2023. From the recap, General Fund, $168,070.96. Road and Bridge, $19,888.34. Storm Sewer, $1,076.85. MFT, $35,005.02. Water and Sewer, $909,002.63. Sanitary Sewers, $4,440.67. Heritage Complexes, $146,477.22, for a grand total all funds of $1,283,961.69. And that is all I have under finance this evening, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to the Fire Committee report. Trustee Murphy.
I have a motion to approve Chief Szynski to attend the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association Annual Symposium in Peoria, Illinois, from October 18th through the 20th, at a cost of approximately $620. The symposium was moved from May due to the combined conference moving to June of this year. The symposium provides training to chief officers and fire service throughout the state. During the symposium, Chief Szynski will also be installed as the president of the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association until October of 2024. The symposium has been budgeted for. And next I have a new firefighter was sworn in today by the Fire and Police Commission. He will start on days for recruitment training September 11th, and he will be placed on shift at the end of the month. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Congratulations, Chief.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same
For
thing.
you.
Chief, congratulations that you're going to be the president of the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association.
Yes.
Congratulations, Chief.
Very good.
Next, we have the Police and Traffic Safety Report. Trustee Dalzell.
The presentation and approval of the July 2023 Police Department Monthly Activity Report. I have a request to approve a state bid contract with Axon Enterprise to provide body cameras to the police department. This is a 5-year contract. And then a request to send one officer to Defensive Tactics Instructor course from September 25th through the 29th, 2023 in Waynesville, Ohio. Government rate hotel is $117 per night, not to exceed $600. And finally, there's 4 new officers who received the oath of office this afternoon. And Chief?
Yes, today the Mayor and Police and Fire Commission sworn 4 new officers, Zachary Brothen, Joshua Ward, Jade Perscaro, and Hayden Hernandez. They'll start on September 11th. They'll be going to the Chicago Police Academy.
Very good.
Well, actually, they started today, but the academy starts Monday.
Chief, when do the other trainees, when are they done with the academy?
They got a couple more weeks left. And
They're down in Chicago right now, too?
Yep.
I saw them, I think Wednesday, I saw them all checking in with you for something. They all came here, and I haven't seen the new uniforms. They're all in solid blue, like, in a way, dark blues?
Yeah, they're all doing really well so far, so
Okay.
looking forward to having them out
And-
on the streets.
And we've got 3 officers coming out of that school then, too, right now, right?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good.
That's all I have. Thank you, Chief.
All right. Thank you. Chief, what's, you know what, I'm sorry to, I just got my computer up here. What is the cost on that 5-year contract for the Axon?
It's
$394,000.
total over the 5 years is $394,236,
$394,236.
and that's with the state discount. It's broken down by year. The first year being $98,000, and then $74,000 and change the following 4.
Very good, thank you.
We have just to follow up on that a little bit, we have a grant that's expected.
That's the one we talked to about with the congressman.
No, this is a different one. This is a state grant. It's a matching grant, so whatever we put up, they'll put up. And it's supposedly good up to $98,000, so.
Okay.
That's what we're kind of hoping for. That'll cover 2 years of this contract between us and the grant, and then we can keep applying for grants as the contract moves on from year to year.
Very good. Thanks for doing that. Thanks, Chief.
Does contract have a refresh for the camera units later?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Thank you.
I could talk to Lieutenant Emick when she gets back. She's heavily involved in this. So.
Thank you.
Chief, I didn't get a report from Finance Department on this. They're okay with this, too? You talked with the Finance Director on this?
We have put it in the budget.
I spoke with Maria about it.
Okay.
On a couple different
That's
occasions.
what I'm saying. I don't have my budget book with me right now and stuff yet, too, so, okay. But we did put in this in our budget. And I'm just saying, because we had like 5 things that we talked about the other day.
It was initially in the budget,
Okay.
and then it magically wasn't in the budget, but she was going to do an amendment.
Yeah, because I remember you and I went back, but last week we talked about like 4 or 5 things that we're going to readdress and stuff yet, too. Okay. All right, thank you. Next, we'll go to the Public Work and Boat Launch Committee.
No report tonight, Mayor.
All right. Sewer and Water Report, Trustee Nava Esparza.
No items to be voted on tonight, Mayor. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Building and Health, Trustee Peretta.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you. Human Resource and Insurance, Trustee Murphy.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Special Committee Reports, Economic Development, Trustee Nava Esparza.
No report, Mayor.
Trustee, I'll have this ready for the next committee meeting too, but we just got a check from the CalSec Enterprise Zone based on what the board followed through on helping I'm sorry, Trustee McLaurin, what's the name of the development, what starts with
Opus.
Opus, thank you. I was going to say Otis. Opus, thank you. Opus is a development that they're planning, yes. So the CalSeg Enterprise Zone just offered that to our community. Next, we had the Village Property Report. Trustee McLaurin.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. Ordinance and Legislation, Trustee Peretta.
No report, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Planning and Zoning and Licenses Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a presentation and approval of a list of licenses dated August 21st, 2023 through September 5th of 2023. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any presentations, petitions, or communications they want to share? I want to remind everybody, coming up this month, September 17, 18, and 19 is our village-wide garage sale. We don't require any permits for those 3 days, so if anybody wishes to participate in a village-wide garage sale, may do so on September 17, 18, and 19. And you can check the village website, but sometimes, I know my assistant is out of town the rest of this week, but a lot of times they'll put together a map to help people with their garage sale, obviously direction. Did anybody want to remove anything from the consent agenda? Pardon? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. And thank you for reminding me. The other was, we do have our Fall Flannel Fest as well coming up on September 23rd, and that's going to run from noon till 5 p.m. at the junior high at the Aquatic Center. And again, that's Saturday, June 23rd that we're going to do that. That's a free event to the community. Did anybody wish to remove anything from the consent agenda?
Item A and B.
A and B, okay. Anybody else? Can I get a motion then to establish the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to establish consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaurin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta?
Yes.
Motion carries to establish consent agenda.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion then to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 2 to approve consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaurin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza?
Yes.
Trustee
Excuse me.
Peretta?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve consent agenda.
Thank you very much. We'll go back to the 2 items that were removed. We'll start with letter A, the approval to create a new classification of liquor license known as Class S license, which would refer to a supermarket or grocery store. Before we take any questions, did I have a motion and a second to approve this the way it stands? No? Okay. Then I'll go back to Trustee Nava Esparza. You pulled this. Did you have a question on it?
No, I think I made my stance pretty clear.
Okay. Followed by, do we have a motion and a second to approve creating a new liquor license classification for a supermarket grocery store?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second to the motion? No? Okay. That dies for lack of a second. Next, we had letter B, the approval to have the village attorney draft I'm sorry, I have the village attorney amend an ordinance 94-11-3, Section 4-5, consumption, possession, false identification, and employment of underage persons. Did I have a motion and a second to approve this action to draft a new ordinance?
I'll make a motion to, I'll make that motion.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion? No second to the motion. That motion dies as well. Did anyone have any unfinished business? Any new business? Can I get a motion then to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We'll adjourn this meeting at 8:34 PM. Please enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you very much, folks.